Okay, so it's recording now. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for being there tonight. We are recording this session because we know that most people will watch it after, or maybe tomorrow, when we make available this session. We have someone else connecting apart from Eva, Jojo. Hello, we give a little bit, and Zdravka as well. Okay, that's very good. So we give a few seconds more. Okay, I think Zdravka is there. Hello, Zdravka, welcome as well. Good evening for you there in Bulgaria. We have Jojo. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Right, Mich. No.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so we are recording now, and I was saying that we will record the session for all the people that can't be here tonight. Usually there's always lots of people that watches the replay after, but I'm very glad that we have you here, and very grateful for that. Don't go away before the end of the session, because we have a surprise for you. You that are attending live this session. So at the end of the presentation of Dr. Trainard, I will present two things just as a surprise for you, okay? But for now, I'm going to pass already the words to Veronique. Hello, Veronique, how are you?
Hello. Hello, everybody. How are you? So it's always a pleasure to give some scientific conference on live. So today we're going to talk about sport nutrition and how several food supplements may support physical performance and recovery. So before explaining you what are the function of the product, how it may help in physical performance, we need to understand what happens in the body when we are doing physical exercise. It's applicable whatever the level of physical exercise for professional athletes or amateur as we are. In fact, as we are doing the physical exercise, whatever the intensity, we have some micro lesion in the muscle that will happen as long as we do physical exercise. There are some structural alteration of the muscle fiber as it is contracted, and we are also at risk of injuries, sprains linked to this regular physical exercise. And also there are some, as we do some sports, some metabolic adaptation. The first one is the increase in heart rate, in blood flow. The increase in blood flow is really linked to the enhanced need in energy, in oxygen, to support the functions of the tissue of the muscle, because it will also produce more oxidative stress. Every day as we breathe, we are using oxygen, we are producing some oxidative species that are reactive to oxygen, and these species that are reactive to oxygen can be linked to vascular damages, cellular damages. So we have endogenous antioxidant pool, and we have also antioxidants that may scavenge this oxidative stress molecule. And this antioxidant can also be brought by food. But we need to have a balance between oxidative stress and antioxidant pool. And during physical exercise, this oxidative stress is really enhanced. So we really need to be careful, because this oxidative stress will have, as we said, vascular damages, but also muscular damages. So it will affect the capacity of the muscle to contract. And we have also muscular inflammation, and also a lactic acid production and a decrease in pH linked to this lactic acid production. And this acidosis will also affect the capacity of the muscle to contract and ultimately the physical performance. So the idea is also to keep in mind that depending on the intensity of the exercise, of the physical exercise, the capacity of the muscle to contract, so the maximum power that the muscle can generate, will be affected after the effort. With a light exercise, the changes in the force generating capacity will be less than 20%. So the total recovery will happen in less than 24 hours. So it's in the graph is for the green, the mild damage. So it's less than 20% of the maximum power the muscle can generate. In blue, we have the average for an average exercise. So it's a moderate damage. The damage is in average 30%, but the maximum recovery will happen in between 48 hours to 7 days. And if we have a really high intensity exercise with a decrease in more than 50% of the force generating capacity of the muscle, so the maximum power that the muscle can generate, the full recovery will happen in more than 7 days. So it's really important to have an optimal and a full muscle repair to be able to have an optimal physical exercise at the next session, at the next training, at the next sports session. Because if the muscle has not recovered properly and fully, it will not be at this maximum power, at this maximum muscle contraction capacity, and the physical performance will be affected. And there is also a risk of injuries or more micro lesion. So it's really important to support the muscle recovery and regeneration after physical performance. So in this slide, I just present the 5 main benefits so several food supplements can bring. The first benefit is linked to the stem enhance. Stem enhance will support the stem cell release. More you have stem cell available, more you have stem cell to repair and to support the renewal and repairing capacity of the tissues. So the idea with the stem enhance is to stimulate the muscle and joint regeneration by supporting stem cell metabolism. It will also be linked to an acceleration of wound healing and recovery if there is any injury. The benefit number 2 will be more linked to the plasma flow. So we will see that plasma flow will promote the blood circulation, a proper blood flow, and also will bring antioxidant. This antioxidant will reduce oxidative stress that is enhanced during physical performance, and also will reduce the associated muscle or vascular damages linked to oxidative stress. So the idea is really a support to vascular and blood microcirculation. The benefit 3 will be more linked to the fact that when there is a physical performance, as we said, there is a local inflammation. If this local inflammation in muscle and joint are not really healed, it can become also chronic inflammation, and this chronic inflammation will affect the physical performance. So the idea is really to limit this inflammation and the pain that can be linked to this local inflammation with Cyactive. And the benefit 4 will be more to support and nourish the joints, to enhance the joint flexibility, mobility, and also to relieve some specific joint pain that can happen frequently during physical exercise with Cyactive Flex. And also the benefit, the 5th benefit will be more linked to concentration, mood, and mental energy. It's linked to stem enhance. So we will see after these 5 benefits in detail. So for the first benefit, as we say, the objective is to support the natural repair and renewal system with a support in the stem cell release. Physical activity is linked to muscle microlesion, decrease in the ability of muscle fibers to contract. This microlesion is also present at the joint level, with a significant wear of the cartilage and a higher risk of frequent injury, especially sprain, muscle tear, and chronic joint pain that are the three, I would say, discomfort that is really linked to physical performance or physical sports. Bone marrow stem cells constitute the repair system of the human body. They play a major role in the repair of muscle and ligaments. So when there is a tissue in need of repair, the tissue will produce a signal, I would say molecule, GCSF, that will migrate to the bone marrow. This GCSF will release and will trigger the release of stem cell in the blood. So more stem cell will be available for repair and for regeneration. And this stem cell will migrate to the tissue we need. In this example of sport, it will be more linked to muscle, cartilage, ligament that are need of repair after a physical performance. So the idea is really with the stem enhance to have this increased release of stem cell in the blood that are available for tissue repair, for support performance and promote faster recovery. So in Stem Enhance Ultra, we have 3 algae extracts. The first one is the Stem Enhance. So it's a patented and clinically tested Aphanizomenon fluosacra extract. The second one is a Wakame extract from Undaya pinnatifida that is also clinically tested for stem cell release with another complementary mechanism of action. And we have also mesenchyme. It's the yellow pigment of spirulina that mesenchyme is also clinically tested to release more stem cell in the blood marrow. What is interesting in Stem Enhance Ultra is that the 3 extracts will have 3 mechanisms of action that is complementary. Stem Enhance will release more stem cell. In fact, it will act on a specific protein, L-selectin, that is responsible for the release of stem cell in the bone marrow. So it will inhibit L-selectin. This L-selectin inhibition will trigger the release of more stem cells in the blood. For mesenchyme, it is associated to a greater production of GCSF, which is the signal molecule to release stem cell. And for Wakame, it will also enhance the migration of stem cell to the tissue. So there is really a synergy between the 3 extracts in Stem Enhance Ultra. We will do a focus on Stem Enhance, especially on the preparatory studies we have on Stem Enhance. So the first one was published in 2007. So 1 gram of Stem Enhance is associated to a significant increase in the number of circulating stem cell after 1 hour of consumption. So between 25 to 30% more stem cell in circulation, corresponding to 3 to 4 million of new stem cells in circulation. What is also interesting is for sport nutrition, we have another preclinical study that has been on Stem Enhance. So in fact, in rodent model, a muscular injury was generated, and stem cells were marked with a green fluorescent protein to see, in fact, the evolution of this muscle repair. If there is a green fluorescence in the muscle, it means that stem cell migrated to the muscle for muscle repair. So this rodent was separated in 2 groups, 1 control group. This control group didn't consume Stem Enhance, and the treatment group consumed the FA extracts. And the muscular injury was carried out in both groups, and the muscle recovery was assessed at different times. And what we see is that for the control group, there is a green fluorescence that is weak for the control group. So there are some stem cells that have migrated to the muscle, but this fluorescence is really less than in the treatment groups. In the treatment group with stem enhanced, the green fluorescence are really higher. The green fluorescence level is really higher. So more stem cells have migrated to the muscle, and the consumption of FA extract is associated to a greater muscle regeneration. So it's really pertinent for sport nutrition because FA consumption and stem enhanced consumption will support the muscle repair for this micro lesion that happens naturally during physical performance, but also in the event of a muscle injury, or and also will decrease the structural alteration of muscle that happens that affect the capacity of the muscle to contract. What is also interesting in stem enhanced is that naturally FA contain phenylethylamine, so PEA is will act as a neurotransmitter in the brain. It's called the love molecule because PEA, high level of PEA in the brain is linked to a positive mood support, concentration, sustained attention. So it's really associated to higher cognitive functions. And decrease in PEA level is often associated, for example, in children for some attention disorders or attention and cognitive disorders, for example, and the consumption of stem enhanced constitute the first clinical studies in the 90s in children to really enhance the cognitive function, the executive function of these children with attention trouble disorders. And so it's really also pertinent to have PEA, high PEA level for athletes to really have a mental preparation, a high concentration and attention during the competition or the training session. The mental preparation is also linked to a higher physical performance. So both are linked to physical performance. So the presence of PEA in stem enhanced will also support mood and cognitive functions. And what is interesting also is that stem enhanced is also clinically tested in athletes, so in professional football players. In fact, in the pre-season or during training and also during match at the start of the season of the competition, we observe numerous injuries, especially ankle sprain. So the study objective was really to decrease the healing and recovery time and to improve tissue repair. So the clinical study was carried out on 12 professional football players with ankle sprain, without fracture, with partial ligament tear, with joint instability and swelling. They receive two different treatments. The group one will represent the control group. They receive a conventional treatment with non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, ice pack, immobilization, and exercise. And the group 2 receives the conventional treatment with the stem enhanced, the equivalent of 3 grams of stem enhanced plus fucoidan. And the investigators or the doctors evaluate the functional score of ankle recovery, so the KFS score, initially at time 0 and after 14 days. And this score measures several items: ankle pain, ankle swelling, ankle instability, stiffness, the stair climbing, the walk activity, and the total score. And what is interesting is that compared to the control group, the group treated with stem enhanced have a significant decreased ankle pain, a significant ankle, an improvement in ankle instability, and a significant improvement in work activity, and an improvement in the functional recovery of ankle KFS score, representing the ankle recovery. So we can conclude that stem enhanced consumption is associated to a faster recovery and a promotion of stability and ankle mobility, and a decrease in ankle pain. And what is also interesting is that we can see in black that the experimental group have a fully recovery after 21 days, compared to the control group who have a full recovery at 28 days. So in fact, in the experimental group, they return to the field and they have a full recovery 1 week before the control group. So it's really a really fast action, because we can see that there is a 1 week difference in the full recovery. So what is also observed during the rest of the season, that is the feedback from the treatment group that continue to consume the stem enhance, they reduce the consumption of painkillers and anti-inflammatory drugs, and they have fewer injuries during the rest of the season by consuming stem enhance. So stem enhance consumption is really linked to an improvement in the ankle recovery and faster recovery from injuries linked to physical performance. Also, the second benefit of the product will be linked with the plasma flow. So the idea is really to support the vascular health, blood flow, and also antioxidant support. So during physical exercise, we have an increased metabolic demand, an increased blood flow. It linked to the fact that the muscle will need more energy, more nutrients. There is an increase in the energy expenditure. So there is also more oxygen requirements. So the blood flow really need to be optimal to support this provision of nutrients, oxygen, stem cell, immune cell, whatever the tissue we need to function properly. There is an increase of oxidative stress, as we said. It's linked to vascular damages and also muscle damages, interfering with muscle contraction. And there is also microvascular damage linked to an increased oxidative stress, and also an increased local inflammation. So in plasma flow, you will have some fibrinolytic enzymes. So they will digest the excess of fibrin. So fibrin is a protein that is linked to blood clotting. It's absolutely necessary for normal vascular function, but if fibrin is in excess, it will produce some. It will be linked to blood to some elements of the blood, and these elements of fibrin with other elements of the blood can really decrease the exchange between the tissue and the blood in capillaries that are really small. So the idea is really to digest this excess of fibrin so the capillaries are free for the exchange between the blood and the tissue, for the exchange of nutrients, of oxygen, and all the tissue need to proper functioning, and also to maintain a sufficient blood flow. There is also some presence we will see of antioxidants to reduce the enhanced oxidative stress linked to physical performance. And also, if we decrease oxidative stress, we also decrease the microvascular damages that has a link to an excess of oxidative stress. And there is also a reduction of microvascular damages that is linked to specific plant extracts. So we will see these plant extracts. So in plasma flow, you will have the fibrinolytic enzymes. There are 4 main antioxidants. So astaxanthin from Haematococcus pluvialis, so it's an algae origin astaxanthin. We have cocoa flavanol, we have olive hydroxytyrosol, and seabuckthorn polyphenol. So that it's the 4 main antioxidants we have in plasma flow. Seabuckthorn is also rich in vitamin C, And the vitamin C also support the collagen formation. Collagen is also present in the structure of the blood vessels and support the capacity of the blood vessel to contract or to dilate. So it's really, so this pool of antioxidants will really decrease the oxidative stress and reduce vascular and muscle damages that are linked to oxidative stress during exercise. And we have also specific extracts, so lemon hesperidin, Centella asiatica, and ginkgo biloba extract. These three plant extracts will also improve elasticity of the blood vessel, will support vasodilatation and the reduction of microvascular damages that are also enhanced with physical performance. So it will really support the vascular integrity of the blood vessel for an optimal supply of all the nutrients, stem cell, oxygen, whatever the tissue we need. The benefit 3 is more linked to limit the inflammation. So intense physical activity is inevitably associated with the production of inflammatory compounds in the muscle and ligaments. And this inflammation will lead to progressive muscular and joint pain that will affect the physical performance. We also, we have talked about the inhaled microlesion that can also sometimes lead to a systemic residual inflammation that will persist and disrupt the metabolism. And any inflammation that persists over time will also link to chronic inflammation. And this chronic inflammation may also decrease the ability of the tissue to repair, because chronic inflammatory compounds will affect the migration, especially of the stem cells. And physical exertion is also frequently associated with muscle and joint pain and even injury. So the idea is really to decrease this inflammation and relieve joint pain or muscle pain. So for the chronic inflammation, the idea will be more to consume some Cyactiv. Cyactiv is the proprietary spirulina extract, standardized to 30% of phycocyanin, which is the blue pigment of spirulina. This proprietary extract is a water extract produced with a low temperature during the drying process and standardized in actives. So what is published is that Cyactiv has an anti-inflammatory action. This inflammatory action is linked to the inhibition, the decrease in some inflammatory enzymes. These enzymes are COX-2 and 5-LOX. They are responsible of the production of inflammatory agents such as prostaglandin, leukotriene extra, and this extract specifically will reduce the activity of 5-LOX and COX-2. The inhibition of COX-2 is exactly the same mechanism of action as steroidal, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. The advantage of spirulina extract is that there is no effect on platelet aggregation or clotting, and no side effects on gastrointestinal health. So it has a really satisfying security profile. And associated to this anti-inflammatory action, there is also a high antioxidant action of phycocyanin. There are 3 clinical studies on Cyactiv. They are all carried out on adults that have chronic joint pain for more than 3 months. The study 1 was an open label pilot study at 1 gram per day during 4 weeks. The second study was a crossover study. So the participants took the control, so the placebo, but they also took 2 different doses of Cyactiv, 250 milligrams or 500 milligrams per day. And the third study was a randomized double-blind parallel arm placebo control study. So it's a gold standard in terms of methodology, because we have a control group, it's randomized to placebo or treatment group. It's double-blinded, so the investigator and the participants doesn't know what treatment they have, if they have the placebo of the Cyactive. And the pain score were measured during physical activity and at rest. And the daily dose were 1 gram. So we have 3 preparatory clinical studies on Cyactive. In study 3 at 1 gram per day, so it's mainly 2 capsules, we have a significant reduction in pain score during physical activity. So it's really interesting to have these significant results. In the second clinical study, we have a significant decrease in pain score at rest and during physical activity on the primary pain and the secondary pain. So the primary pain corresponds to the zone of the body that affects most the quality of life and is really linked to the higher score of pain initially. And the secondary pain represents all the other zones of the body, areas of the body that will affect less the quality of life. The frequency of the pain can be less, or the intensity of the pain can be a little bit less of the primary pain. And what is interesting is that we have a significant decrease in primary pain and secondary pain after 2 and 4 weeks after the consumption of Cyactive. And what also it's confirmed also in the third clinical study, so the crossover study. The first week they consume in blue the Cyactive. The second week in green they consume nothing. In the third week in red they consume the placebo, and in the fourth week in blue they consume the half dose, so 250 milligrams. And what is interesting to see is that there is a dose-dependent increase in activity levels, and it's significant at 500 milligrams. There is higher activities of daily living, and this increase is linked to a decrease in pain score at both doses, 250 milligrams and 500 milligrams. We have a significant decrease in pain level during physical activity. So really Cyactive, through this antioxidant and anti-inflammatory action, will reduce the pain score and promotes activities and physical performance. For the fourth strategy, we will focus on joint flexibility and joint health. So we have 2 products for this, Cyactive Flex and also Collagen Active. So I will present the composition of the products and how they can help for physical performance. So joint and the masterpiece of body mobility, acute traumatic stress or chronic mechanical stress, because physical performance can represent an acute traumatic stress, but if the physical performance is performed regularly during the time, every week, during several months or years, it can be also considered as a chronic mechanical stress for the muscle, the tendon, the ligaments, and the bone. And the practice of this physical activity, especially if it's a medium to high level of physical performance, will be associated to bone microfracture or aberrant bone remodeling, a progressive degradation of the cartilage due to repeated and intensive wear of the joints, local inflammation and muscle and joint pain. Amateur athletes or athletes are at risk of injury or joint fragility, and it's associated to a reduced movement, a loss of muscle strength, because most of the time the ligament are injured and the cartilage is reduced. And the most common injuries are muscle tears and sprain. It's estimated that in athleticism, for example, 2/3 of the athletes will have at least one injury on a sports season, likely to cause pain, decrease physical performance, and impair the ability to participate in a sports event. So it's just to illustrate that athletes and regular sports amateurs are at risk of muscle and joint pain, and that can be linked to injuries. For joint discomfort linked to pain and also joint, I would say, degradation, there are two main risk factors: oxidative stress and inflammation, and both are increased during physical performance. Because oxidative stress, as we said, it's species reactive to oxygen that are produced. They are really unstable, and they will trigger some cellular damages. They will inhibit collagen and proteoglycan production in the cartilage, in the joint. It will also be linked to the death of chondrocytes. Chondrocytes are the cell that produce the extracellular matrix of the joint with hyaluronic acid, proteoglycan, etc., glucosamine. And it will this oxidative stress will also be linked to protein and DNA damages in the cell. This also metalloprotease activation and all these cellular phenomenon will be linked to cartilage degradation. Also, oxidative stress will promote chronic inflammation because it will enhance the production of inflammatory agents that are linked to the infiltration of immune cells and synovial inflammation. And all these events will promote the cartilage degradation, the inflammation, the swelling of the joint, the joint pain, and also the bone remodeling that is altered. And so it's really important to reduce and control this inflammation and reduce this oxidative stress. Cyactiv-Flex is composed of 4 main ingredients. Cyactiv. So we already explained the clinical studies on Cyactiv that is linked to anti-inflammatory and antioxidant action with the reduction of joint pain at rest and during physical activity. We have also tart cherry powder in Cyactiv-Flex. It's standardized to proanthocyanidin, so it's a type of polyphenol of antioxidants that have also anti-inflammatory action. And tart cherry powder is clinically tested on athletes to reduce muscle and joint stiffness and to reduce muscular damages. Markers such as lactate, pro-inflammatory markers also that are linked to physical activity. Eggshell membrane is also composed of extracellular proteoglycan of the joint, so it will nourish the joint. It's rich in glucosamine, chondroitin, in hyaluronic acid. It will also reduce, it's clinically tested to reduce joint pain, swelling, and stiffness, linked to a functional improvement. And also, it's also interesting because for osteoarthritis patients, it will decrease the cartilage degradation markers. The cartilage degradation markers are derivatives of collagen that can be measured in blood or in urine. And after 1 to 3 months of eggshell membrane supplementation, we have a decrease in these markers of cartilage degradation in the urine and in the blood. So it's really also interesting to limit this cartilage degradation that can also be present in athletes. And the fourth ingredient is Boswellia serrata extract. So Boswellia serrata extract is clinically tested to decrease joint pain and swelling with and also stiffness. So it's the main items and aspects we measure in joint health: pain, swelling, and stiffness, with a validated questionnaire called WOMAC. This WOMAC questionnaire is in the majority of the clinical studies is filled by the investigators and by the patients. And there is a significant improvement with the Boswellia serrata extract. And we have also an associated functional improvement in osteoarthritis patients. So it's linked to the walking distance. They can make more walking distance, higher walking distance with Boswellia serrata supplementation. So SelectiFlex is really have 4 ingredients that are clinically tested. It's formulated to have the clinically tested doses for 4 capsules. So the condition of use is 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules in the evening. 2 capsules in the morning is more linked to the reduction of pain and to support the joint mobility during the day and the physical performance of the daily activities. And the 2 capsules in the evening is more linked to the fact that the joint will repair during the night. The second product that is really interesting for joint health and joint mobility is Collagen Active. Collagen Active has 300 milligrams of Selective, but have also collagen peptides 1 and 3. So collagen is present in cartilage, in tendon, in bone, in ligament, in muscle, and connective tissue. And collagen peptide supplementation is associated to the stimulation of the production of collagen and elements of the extracellular matrix of the joint, an improvement of mechanical and functional properties of the connective tissues, and a support in the bone mineral density, and also an improved muscle recovery. So this collagen peptide present in Collagen Active can support as we said, ligament, tendon, and muscle joint comfort. That is really clinically documented. 5 grams of collagen peptide supplementation that is present in 1 sachet of Collagen Active is also clinically tested in athletes to reduce pain, and is also associated to an improvement in joint stability and a reduction of the number of ankle injuries in athletes that have chronic ankle instability, especially after 3 weeks of supplementation compared to placebo. There is also an improvement in muscle and tendon thickness compared to placebo after 2 weeks of supplementation. And also there is a reduction of pain during exercise compared to placebo with 5 grams of collagen peptide. I'll also recommend 12 weeks, so 3 months of supplementation to have really all the potential benefits. And Collagen Active also contains some micronutrients such as vitamin C. Vitamin C contributes to the normal production of collagen for the normal functioning of bones and cartilage. So it's really a synergetic effect with collagen, but it can clinically also documented. Collagen plus vitamin C will have a synergetic effect on the production of collagen in ligaments and participate to tendon healing. Also, we have vitamin D that contributes to the maintenance of normal bones and muscle. And we have zinc that contributes to the maintenance of bones. And we have also an antioxidant intake with vitamin C and selenium. All these micronutrients are in significant dose because we are between 80 to 100% of the daily recommended daily dose. What we see for sport nutrition is that we have the Stemminence Ultra, as we said, to support the natural stem cell release and functioning. So the capacity of the body to repair and renew itself, especially for muscle and joint during sports performance. Plasma flow that will support the vascular health, the optimal blood flow to deliver nutrient, oxygen, and all the tissue provision, and also to have an antioxidant supply. For the control of inflammation, we have the Cyactive. If there is any joint, I would say, discomfort, Cyactive will replace Cyactive. And to support really the joint mobility, the joint nourishment, and also joint comfort, we have Collagen Active and Cyactive Flex. So we can support all aspects of physical performance that we have seen. So muscle regeneration, blood health, vascular health, inflammation, and also with stimulants, as we saw with the phenylethylamine, we can also support the mental preparation, the focus, the natural, I would say, concentration needed before and during the physical efforts. That is linked also to higher physical performance. So how to consume the products? It's advised to consume plasma flow on an empty stomach or outside the meals. So it can be 30 minutes before a meal or 2 hours after a meal. So we can take the example of to take 2 capsules of plasma flow during on an empty stomach. In the morning, 30 minutes before the event, at least, to take 2 capsules of Semalenus Ultra. The first possibility will be an optional additional 2 capsules of Semalenus Ultra during the physical activity. It depends on the duration and the intensity of the physical effort. And in the 30 minutes after the end of the physical exercise, so we stop the physical effort, in the first 30 minutes after stopping the physical exercise, it's advised to consume 2 capsules of Semalenus Ultra and 2 capsules of Cyactive. The idea is really to promote the muscle and joint regeneration repair, and also to limit inflammation and joint and muscle pain we will see with Cyactive. So it's the first possibility. The second possibility is to replace Cyactive by Cyactive Flex. If there is, depending on the age, on the type of sports, and also if there is any joint discomfort or pain, we can replace Cyactive by Cyactive Flex. So the idea is the same: 2 capsules of plasma flow on an empty stomach, 2 capsules of Semalenus Ultra in the 30 minutes before the event, and 2 capsules of Cyactive Flex before the event. It can be also linked to Collagen Active with 1 sachet of Collagen Active in the morning. During the effort or the physical effort, we have 2 capsules of Semalenus Ultra. And after, so in the 30 minutes after the end of the physical activity, we take 2 additional Semalenus Ultra, 2 capsules of Semalenus Ultra and 2 capsules of Cyactive Flex. So we have the 4 capsules of Cyactive Flex. It's the daily dose that is recommended for Cyactive Flex. So it's the 2 possibilities depending on the age, the type of sport, and also the need to really support the joint health. But I would say that it's really important to have plasma flow and stimulants before, and also Cyactive Flex and Collagen Active before the event, and Semalenus Ultra and Cyactive Flex also after the event. So really have the full dose, and also to promote the recovery after the physical exercise, and also every morning to support the stem cell mobilization and the antioxidant support and the support of vascular health with plasma flow. So I can just give you some testimonies of 2 athletes. The first one is Caroline Childs. So she's a trail runner. So in Reunion Island, she performed 2 trails, and one is the famous Diagonale des Fous in Reunion Island. So it's 164 kilometers with more than 9,000 meters of height difference. So it's one of the, I would say, most harder trails in the world. And she's an amateur, she's not a professional, but she performed this several trail. And she said that, in fact, her testimonies was, since Cheryl has been part of her sporting daily life, chronic injuries she had on especially tendonitis and joint pain related to trail running disappeared quickly. Asthma symptoms were greatly reduced, and her recovery is faster. and it allows her to support the heavy training sessions, and also the training is optimized and her body stays in shape. So she says that she arrived in the best physical condition at sport competitions. And the second one is her, I would say, her coach. He's a professional marathon and ultra trailer. So now he's also a coach for some trailer runners team. And after 26 years of marathons and ultra trail races, he has ankle osteoarthritis. A major surgery happened because the lesions were too high, and after several of food supplements were supplemented just after the surgery, and he said that it was a valuable support for the recovery, the resumption of the training, and after 6 months he was able, in optimal state of shape and without any joint discomfort or pain, to perform trail race. So it's really a support for the lesion recovery and the surgery recovery. So it was just to illustrate some testimonies we have from sport athletes, and also to give you just some examples. So I thank you for your listening. If you have any questions, just you can ask. I try really to give you the main benefits we have for sport nutrition that are really summarized in this slide I will show you. And I try to present you the proprietary studies we have on each product, especially the proprietary studies we have on Stemenence, on Cyactive, to present you all the ingredients and their action especially for sport nutrition. But we can really support several aspects of physical performance and recovery with these products.
Okay, thank you so much, Veronique. I think it was very, very interesting. And now it's time for questions or comments or testimonials, whatever you wish. If you need to know something or you want to ask something, this is the moment. Just a quick reminder, please don't leave the session before I present you something, a surprise for you, just for you that are attending this call today. But for now, let's take advantage of the presence of Dr. Traynard with us, and you are free to put any questions. Who wants? Okay, I see on the chats.
Yes, the first question was how many Stemenence is it okay to take daily? So I presented in the last slide that generally it's for sports, I would say it's 2 capsules before the physical activity, 2 capsules after, and we can go to 6 capsules per day. So 2 before, 2 after, and 2 during the physical exercise. Generally, there is no need to go over 6 capsules per day. Generally, we start with 2 to 4 capsules per day. It can be 2 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. But generally, we don't need to go over 6 capsules per day. There is no maximum because we have some examples of people taking 10 capsules per day during a short period of time to really support initially as a start treatment, the recovery, the repair system, and after they decrease to 6 and after to 4 capsules per day. But generally, 4 capsules per day is a good daily dose. And if there is any, I would say, high intensity physical performance, or there is an injury or something that needs really more repair capacity, we can go to 6 capsules per day, but generally it's 4. There is a second question in relation to sports from Aiva. I would like to ask if you have any observation on the effects supplements of scoliosis at puberty. So we don't have really example for adolescents between. I cannot I don't have some testimony for adolescents and especially scoliosis, because normally the food supplements are designed for adults, so we don't really advise officially to be consumed by adolescents. So we don't have any testimonies in mind for scoliosis especially. But I would say that with 2 capsules, so I would say 1 to 2 capsules, I don't see any issue because it will support exactly the same way that for adults the natural renewal and repair system. I would say that it's more it's recommended to ask to the healthcare practitioners before giving to children or adolescents, because they are not initially the initial targets, I would say, because food supplements are more designed and the daily dose are designed for adults. Generally, for adolescents, if it's over 15 years old, generally it's the same doses, because it's depending on the weight. And for adolescents, I would say younger than 12 years old, we put the half dose. So I would say 1 to 2 capsules. And for really young children before 3 years old, we don't advise generally officially to give stimulants. So yes, I would say that it will support the repair and renewal system. We don't have any example for scoliosis, I would say, but it will promote the joint and the bone repair. So it can easily, with stimulants and selective flex, it will support the repair system and decrease, I would say, the chronic inflammation and probably the pain. So you can try, if she's 17, I would say it's exactly the same. So you can start by 2 and see if there is any, after 3 months, if there is any improvements. But yes, we don't have any specific testimony on scoliosis. More for chronic joint pain, back pain, osteoarthritis, or sports chronic pain, or ankle, knee, this type of more testimonies. But you can try. There is no, I would say, there is no contraindication. If the healthcare practitioner is okay, I would say you can go.
Okay, very good. Any more questions? Thanks to you, Suzanne. Very nice to see you on board. Okay, but don't leave yet, please. Let me just see if there are more questions. If not, then I'm going to share my screen. Okay, Veronique, and stop your sharing.
Yes.
If it is okay for you. Okay, so let me just quickly share this. Just a moment. Here. Okay, now this is the thing. So what I want to tell you is we are really grateful for you making yourselves available and spending your time in the evening with us. And so we decided to reward your presence tonight live in this presentation by making a special promotion exclusively available just for you that are here. So this is not open to anyone else, because, as I said, is a way to reward your loyalty and your time with us in this evening. This is only available until tomorrow at noon. Doesn't matter where you are. If Paula, you are in Netherlands, will be noon in Netherlands. Zdravka, you in Bulgaria, it will be on a different time, but it's noon for you, and so on. And what is it? Let me just tell you. We are allowing you to, if you desire, of course, to get a BOGO on Collagen Active, which is a super product, as you know, that's been so successful, becoming very quickly a bestseller for Cerule. Normal price for 2 boxes would be 80 euros, for IBOs, and 86 euros for customers. In UK would be 70 pounds. And now, of course, you can have it half price, which means by the price of 1 box, you can have 2 boxes. There will be no limit. You can order as many as you want. If by some reason you decide to buy a minimum of 5 boxes and therefore having another 5 for free, then you will have on top free shipping and the offer of a free Cerule bottle where you can consume Collagen Active in style with a Cerule bottle as well. So just to let you know, this is only for you. It's of course, you do as you want, it's optional, but we really want to reward your presence and your thing. So remember, it's tomorrow until 12, and the way to place this order, if you wish so, is only available through the customer service by phone or email. So all you need to do is until 12 tomorrow to call your customer service, or alternatively to email the customer service saying, hey, I was yesterday in the Zoom, and of course I can testimony for that. I was yesterday in the Zoom and I want to buy this promotion on these quantities and so on. You have the email address on the screen, info europe@cerule.com. Okay, so I hope you enjoy. It's for you. And well, if there are no more questions, I want to thank Véronique Trainard, first of all, for again, an excellent presentation, which give us a lot of light about the impact of our incredible products. Sports is something that is becoming more and more important nowadays. More people are realizing the importance of keeping physical activity, and it's very good that we can look at the impacts of our products in sports and sports nutrition overall. I want also to thank you all for being here tonight with us. It's a pleasure. Some faces I didn't see since quite a while. I know Paul has been traveling and having some fun of that. Suzanne has been quite a while, so Zdravka not so long, but all that. Jojo, Eva is usually there as well. So I wish you a great evening. Thank you so much. Anything you need, you know how to contact me, or our customer service is always available for you. Thank you so much and have a great evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.